Do you ever feel like your mind is overflowing with thoughts, to-do lists, and worries? Let's take a moment to talk about how to declutter your brain and bring back clarity. So I was thinking about this topic, and as usual, ended up making a list of different ways to, in this case, untangle your brain. So let's talk about those. The first one that I came up with was meditation. This is something I've talked about before on this channel, and I can link to a video in one of the cards, or maybe a playlist of several videos about that. But the taking of time to sit down and clear your mind, to focus on something that's not complicated, like focus on your breathing, but it's allowing your brain to disconnect from all the many thoughts that are always running through it, rather than letting your brain follow all those thoughts everywhere. More about those in the other videos if you want to get more into that. The other one that I wrote down is journaling. Journaling has been a huge help, possibly the number one help to me for decluttering my mind. And there are several ways to do this. You can totally do a brain dump and just write everything that comes to mind, things that you're upset about, things that you're frustrated about, whatever. Like, get out the negativity onto paper, and as you have it articulated in words, it's a lot easier to see what is bothering you and what needs to be sorted out, and often see what's important and what's not, or how to come up with a solution when you have it all laid out in front of you like that, rather than just letting it all run around in your mind. I think when we think about things, we feel like we know all our thoughts as they're going through our minds, but when we get it on paper, it becomes clearer. It becomes easier to sort out. At least that's been my experience. Another one is digital detox. I think we all know that we spend too much time on our phones, on our computers, and it's very easy to take every spare moment and turn to our phones to check for updates, check for emails, get distracted watching entertainment or whatever it is that you like to consume digitally. And so there are a lot of different levels of detox that you can do. I've got a video about this as well, as I was breaking away from Instagram, because I love Instagram. I love photography. I love a lot of things about social media. And there was a time when I felt I was way too tied to it and I needed to just cold turkey get off of it. And I talk about some of my experience with that in a video. But there are lots of different levels of detox, and pick your own and go forth and try it. Next is prioritize. As you sort out what your priorities are, it's a lot easier to do the next point on my list, which is focus on one thing at a time. We get distracted, we get our attention split in a million different directions. That's part of the tangled brain feeling you can get. And so if you can focus on one thing at a time, because you've prioritized and you've made a decision about what you need to focus on now and forget about everything else for a time, it's a lot easier to move forward. I did a video in the past about baby steps, focusing on one thing at a time, breaking it into small steps. This helps with getting started, motivation to move forward, as well as just focusing on one thing and letting the rest go. Next is to involve your body, whether that is through rigorous exercise or a leisurely walk. And if you can get outside and into nature, all the better. But even if you're just on a treadmill or at home following an exercise video, getting your body moving and using it can clear your mind, can also help you sort through your thoughts as you're doing it. There are a lot of benefits that can come from just physically moving. Mindfulness. This is another thing I've done a video about in the past. As you bring yourself into the present moment and let go of the past, let go of worries about the future, you can find clarity just in the present moment and realizing what's important right now, right here. Easy way to do that is to think about your 5 senses. What can I hear, see, smell, touch, taste in this moment? As soon as I ask myself those questions, I become aware of the forest in front of me, the sound of the leaves moving, the garden in front of me, the feeling of the ground underneath of me, that I can touch the grass, I can notice all these things, and as soon as I'm doing that, the past, the future, planning, thoughts, everything goes away except for the present moment. And not only does it help you clear your mind, but I think it also can bring a feeling of well-being, contentedness, just a sense of I'm good right now, everything's okay. Next is to talk it out with someone, whether that's family, friend, maybe a therapist, talk it through. Just like I find it helpful often to write things out, you may find it helpful to talk it through with a friend. And bouncing ideas off of someone else sometimes helps bring clarity, as they bring a little bit of a different perspective for you to consider. Sleep. We take it for granted. I have taken it for granted for many years. I love to stay up late after my kids go to bed. I love that alone time, either by myself or hanging out with my husband. And as a result, I have terrible sleeping habits. I go to bed way too late. I have to get up early. I have no choice because my kids have to get up early, and that wakes me up. So that's something that I'm actually really focusing on right now, is getting myself into the habit of an earlier bedtime so that I can be well rested, so that I can focus, so that I can clear my mind. Just physically, it has an effect. Let go of perfection. If you can't already sense it from some of my other videos, this is a difficult one for me. I worry a lot about getting things right, and I'm really working on that as well. I have a playlist of a couple of videos that I've made on the topic. I'll share that with you in case you too struggle with letting go of perfection. The next one I'm going to call subtract. So look at your digital clutter. Like I said earlier with the digital detox, it's akin to that, but this is unfollowing things that you don't need to be devoting your time to, whether that's on social media or your email subscriptions, whatever the case. Maybe it's on TV subscription. Maybe you're finding that you don't want to spend your time there. So subtract digitally as well as physically in your life. Like, take a look at your calendar and see, what am I spending my time on? Think about your responsibilities and where you feel like you have to spend your time, and question it. Think about, is there something on my plate that I can let go of, that I can take off my plate and clear up some time in my life? And artistic expression. As you engage in creative expression, you're sort of externalizing your emotions and clearing up space in your heart and mind. It's allowing you to clear mental blocks as you get some of what you're experiencing out, whether that's through playing an instrument or painting, drawing, whatever your creative expression may be. And this is something that I have touched on a little bit in my discussions recently about solo dates, or as they're also known, artist dates.